And also, Higazeko was your best friend.
Yep. Just, is that the one that goes, wow.
Yep.
Fuck, I forgot what Rangiku looks like in this game. Holy shit, okay.
Yeah. Higazeko is when the blades break apart and shoot at the enemy individually.
That was it. Sorry, right, it was the actual, like, Kido where he wrapped him up and he blew himself up. Okay.
That's the move he does much later on.
Yeah, alright, yeah, alright, I just want to make sure I got that straight, but it's funny seeing Rangiku here because, I mean, I guess we could talk about her actually being blonde in the manga. I mean, that's not too much of a surprise, but still there. On the one hand, her hair is so detailed here, but on the other hand, her bust is actually kind of nerfed compared to what it usually is.
For the better, right?
I'm not complaining at all. It's just like it's just kind of funny that even with like this era, like everyone's got like fucking like H cups.
To be honest, though, I think it actually the smaller boobs actually work better in this style. You see the shininess of everything else, and it's like it would feel weird seeing like the W cups with this art style.
I can't necessarily disagree. I do think that it's interesting seeing oh wow, it's interesting seeing debut Rangiku, given that like originally she was supposed to be like the big titted woman of the series, but then Orihime kind of catches up, and then you get Nell, and it's just like everything's starting to feel a little bit homogenous, guys. A little bit. It's got a little bit of Oda syndrome going on. Not a bad way per se. It's just noticeable.
I would put it like this: there's one in focus at a time. There's one new one every arc, except for Fullbring.
True.
But the thing is, they're also typically never on screen at the same time, except for Orihime and Rangiku. You never see Nell and Howable at the same time. You never see Nell and Rangiku or what have you, so there's not really any time to get overwhelmed by it. I am playing as Izuru in this instance.
I do love how a circle string just all hit OTG. I'm not sure if you can actually tech roll a lot of stuff in this game. Like I was saying to Brandon off screen, I realized that there's not a lot of time I'm playing this game where it's not training mode or playing story for Let's Plays. So I need to eventually sit down and play this game straight up way more often. I don't even know if you can tech roll a lot of stuff in this game, so you gotta look into that at some point.
You don't have anything like a roll or a dodge. You just have a guard, and if your time is right, just counters.
Yeah, also, it turns out Momo's kind of hardcore when she wants to be. Just a little bit.
Never forget in Death God's Meeting in the Twilight where her special was her summoning Meteor.
Yeah. Didn't she do something in this fight that would kind of, Did she just fucking Genjutsu on you? What the hell?
Yes, they make it very...
I did not expect that.
They make it very apparent in Soul Society that Momo is a Kido master, one of the best in any division. So, it's...
God, I forgot how good some of the framing shots for this game were. Fuck me, it's really good.
Yeah, so she is incredibly talented like that. So being able to summon a meteor is probably something she could eventually do. You know, she eventually reached captain level. But she did
I want to see her do Koro Hitsugi.
That's not impossible. But there's other...
No, right?
But like in Fake Harakura, when she first appears in front of Rangiku, she does the thing where she activates the net thing that ties all of Halibel's Fractions together, and then spreads a million Kido bombs throughout that net. And they explode, and then they're so pissed off, that's when they summon Ion.
Oh yeah, right.
But Momo was basically about to single all three of them by herself.
That is fucking I love this like hindsight respect we have for Momo going on. This is awesome. Even though she gets killed by Aizen not once but twice, basically. Kind of funny.
She really shouldn't have survived the second time.
Really shouldn't have. This shit.
Kenpachi.
Oh, hey, we have his later design, I think. Is this his later design? I don't remember offhand. No, he's got the collar on. Okay.
He doesn't have the choker after Soul Society, but he has it during the revision. His design goes through a few revisions during Soul Society. The first time you see it, it is cornrows that flow down, and that is fucking weird.
It's weird, yeah. I was only noting it because, like, I don't remember, like, his eye patch having, like, the gold outline. That was kind of throwing me off for a second. No, super armor, baby.
This is something you're going to see me do a lot. and that's because sometimes it really is the only thing you can do. When you activate your super mode,
I forgot that, yeah.
yeah, attack speed through the roof, but heavy damage is scaling attack speed up.
Which is kind of fair, given, like, you can essentially just do custom killer instinct combos at that point in time. So, man, I love this battle, but on the other hand, something about it just does kind of piss me off, or it's more apparent with Aizen, where he just straight up says it, but it starts to become apparent here where battles between Soul Reapers are more a duel of, like, spiritual pressures, and the bigger one wins.
Okay, so here's the thing about that I learned actually from reading the manga, is that Kenpachi literally says that out loud. Your body is Your body is a mass of spiritual energy, and whichever is the denser one is the one that comes out on top in any contest of strength. That's why when Ichigo tried to cut him the first time, not only did Ichigo not even make a dent in him, or even the tiniest of cuts, but also Ichigo's hands were bleeding. Because the strength of Kenpachi's body, unmoving body, was enough to hurt Ichigo in the process. So that's not actually bullshit that Aizen pulls out of his ass. That's actually something with precedent.
I know, and the reason I brought it up there is because of the slash initially, and I still don't like that. I really don't, because that essentially means that, like, whoever's just the bigger one will win, like, every time. And I don't like that linearity of storytelling, because that's just, like, that's kind of bad. Like, the one with the slightly weaker spiritual pressure will never win. That's balls. Okay.
The good thing, though, is that while they do set that up as something to be aware of, it's something that only ever really comes up 2 or 3 times in the entire series. You can still do heavy damage. Like another example is Uryu and Renji versus Sayalabro. They are clearly weaker than him, but they do immense damage to his body.
Oh yeah, definitely.
They fuck him up.
That's Tien and super semi-perfect cell shit. That's great. I love it when underdogs are able to come out and do cool stuff like that. Wouldn't necessarily. I won't be upset if they lose, but, like, as long as they can prove that they're standing on their own 2 feet, I appreciate that very immensely. Like, you know, Master Roshi and Jiren, the Dragon Ball Super manga.
Yep.
Also, yeah, we definitely skipped some things if we already got this going on.
There are a couple of these fights that, again, are presented without context, and that's annoying.
Yeah.
Uryu versus Mayuri is considered a sub-fight.
Which is odd, given that the one Quincy left in the world that we currently know of is sacrificing all his powers in order to protect Orihime.
He's also activating his Let's Steal.
Yeah,
and you know this fight is also the first Bankai we ever see in the series.
Oh my god, it is. I thought we saw Toshiro's first.
Toshiro's is the last Bankai we see in Soul Society.
Crazy. Well,
yeah. Think about that.
If you're not counting Ichigo's, obviously.
No, yeah. Toshiro's Bankai gets released after Ichigo's.
Seriously? Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, think about that. Mayuri's is the first Bankai we ever see.
It's unfortunate that it is the first one, so it's got, like, it's definitely the most power crept without question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Also, it turns out in the manga that Uryu's granddad was actually a bit more mangled than we initially thought he was.
Yes, you can actually see that they don't show it in the anime for obvious reasons. In the manga, you can see the reflection of Mayuri's photo in Uryu's eyes, and you can literally see that Mayuri beheaded Soken Ishida.
Yup. Which is manga of, like, popular shonen anime are always a very funny case study. Like, you have that, and I'm looking at, like, early Naruto where, like, Kakashi's Genjutsu and Sakura showed Sasuke, like, literally, like, losing limbs and just, like, shredded all over. It's crazy how much actually can be lost in translation with anime sometimes.
Bleach was censored because it was airing in a primetime TV slot. I think it was, like, 7 p.m. on a Monday or something.
Yeah, that would do it.
The good news is, and Kubo himself has already confirmed this, when the Blood War comes back around, it's going to air after midnight, which means you don't have to worry about appealing to sponsors or what have you. It will be uncensored.
I am unironically really looking forward to the anime adaptation of Asnot,
Yes,
That is going to be fucking horrifying. Oh my god.
the vision of Rukia.
The vision of Rukia, and not only that, but like the bloated carcass of himself when he unleashes his power later on against Rukia's Bankai. That is, wow, that is gnarly.
Kenpachi using his Bankai when his body can't control his power, so his arms literally invert on them, and you can see the bones sticking out of his flesh.
If all this actually does hold up, and like, okay, even if like a little bit of it is a little bit skewed for censors, I'll understand. I'll get it, guys, because some of this shit's gonna be fucking crazy. God.
Well, at this point, if stuff gets censored, it'll just be censored for broadcast and put back in for the Blu-ray
or
release.
Blu-ray or something.
And when it gets to air in the dub, it'll already be uncensored because Bleach's Japanese broadcast was censored, where Bleach's American broadcast was not. When Aizen stabs Momo for the first time, all you see is a cloud of darkness behind her. In the dub, in the dub and the DVD version, you see the blade go through her back.
So, unfortunately, when I first started watching Bleach back in the day, it was one of my high school friends showing it to me on, like, Daily Motion or something. I don't remember the website fully. And it was like I think it was a broadcast version from Japan, so, like, a lot of that shit was skewed for me. Like,
Yep.
I tell you, man, when I got into Bleach, I got hardcore into it because I literally watched all the way up to the Bounce arc in subs.
Ah, the Bounce arc.
Also, I guess while you're mentioning that, yeah, no, it wasn't really censored in America whatsoever because it was running on Adult Swim, so, you know, based.
Yep. It was running at like 1 in the morning.
Yup, I remember that shit. That was great.
Somehow.
This.
I might ask you in a minute to put in the one specific picture and ask me for it later of Tosen, because that one design of Tosen without his captain's coat on, I think is probably the coolest design the Kubo ever made.
It's really hard to pick because that's like picking your favorite child, but I'll definitely say it's like, whenever I look at Tosen, I do just get straight up like Afro Samurai or Samurai Champloo vibes from it. It's like, that version of Tosen just feels like it's from a whole different anime. It's so good, yeah.
Yeah. But astoundingly, this was made into a primary fight when this seems like the definition of a sub fight. But I guess they really wanted to give you a chance to play as Kenpachi before Noitra.
I'm not gonna say no. I will never say no to playing as him because, I mean, yeah, playing as Kenpachi and anything not named Soul Resurrection, I wouldn't say no to that. Yeah. I say, but I'm so convinced you could do shit with this command grab and Soul Resurrection, but it's whatever.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's some characters you just don't spend too much time on. I guess. I think we've had this discussion before, probably at least twice, but anime comes back, new game, what do you want? Do you want to heat the soul or do you want a soul res?
Yeah, that talk. So I won't. First of all, I won't say no to either. That said, though, I feel like we're definitely more in line to get something along a fighting game. Personally speaking, like it definitely feels like that's probably more like the marketability they're gonna aim for.
We'll get that Bleach game on the Vita yet, guys. Just you wait.
God, if you hack it, you can put this heat soul on the Vita. It's what I always wanted.
Well, maybe not anymore.
So this is gonna be curious.
Once again, the health bar is missing, and that's because Tosen is supposed to be invisible. But they couldn't make him perma Bankai for the whole fight, because one thing these games do that I don't like is that for some characters they just make their Bankai or their Shikai just a special move instead of a full-out transformation. For some of them, Stark. For some of them, I get it. For some of them, it just feels like they're being lazy. I sort of understand it for Tosen, because, like, how do you balance a full transformation where your opponent just can't move or see you?
Or is completely invisible, yeah. That would be a little bit rough.
Yep. This fight. This is one that keeps blowing you away.
I mean, yeah. I think it always seems very impressive with you also, but yeah. Debuting this like so far ahead of like what you would originally think it would be.
Yumichika displays his Ruri Iro Kujaku against Shuhei for not really any discernible reason, and with no stakes attached. And it
Also,
never...
look at your health bar you're starting with. Holy shit.
Yeah, they do that on purpose.
So you can heal?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So, unrelated to this exactly, but I figured this is a good way to talk about Shuhei. Have you ever actually read the light novels with Shuhei in them? You know, the crazy Bankai he has?
Can't Figure Your Own World. I've looked into it, but no, I haven't read them yet because they're like 3 full-size novels, and I don't think the 3rd one is out in America yet.
Yeah, I only ask because they keep Can't Figure Your Own World keeps getting promotional stuff in Brave Souls, and it's really cool, but it's also slightly annoying because the characters for that are just so fucking powerful. Holy shit.
Yeah.
The snake guy, if you're playing in the battle arena, can just straight up make you like invincible for like 20 seconds. It's kind of nuts.
Tokinata?
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, a piece of trivia that we learned thanks to Can't Figure Your Own World. Do you remember Tozen's backstory?
Something about a woman he was with who taught him the value of justice in the world, and then she died, and then he was very sad about it. That's about it. I would like to I know it's like the 5th grader explanation of it, but that's genuinely all I recall offhand.
Those are the broad strokes. So the two things to take note are that she left Tosen so that she could become a Soul Reaper, and that so she can get married. We find out that she was killed by her husband. Her husband is Tokinata Suniyashiro, the villain of Can't Figure Your Own World.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah. Kubo going back to that well. It's a thing that only gets like 2 or 3 pages in the manga, Tosen's backstory, but we come back to a character that's only mentioned once, without even getting a name, and we turn them into the villain of an entire novel arc.
That is kind of cool. Like, I'm a fan of that. I am okay with this. I think I was also pausing the idea back in the Ultimate Ninja 4 Let's Play, where I'm like, hey guys, don't you want some like more backstory for like Kakashi's dad, the White Fang? Like, I feel like there's something to be had there, and everyone was like, yeah, totally.
Oh,
so
yeah.
there was always something to be had there. Wow, we got this quickly.
Yep. Oh no, there's only like 8 fights in the Soul Society arc in this game.
Yeah, maybe just more used to the other games we play in the past, where like we will revisit things ad nauseum.
Yep.
Damn, I forgot how good the cutscenes are in this game, though. Fuck.
They're very rare, but they do look very good for the PSP.
Maybe it's worth addressing now. Yeah, this is, of course, being recorded on emulator. Now, for those who are newer to the channel, the reason this is notable is because back in the day, we recorded this on component cables off of the PSP. And let me tell ya, a little bit muddy. Just a little bit. I tried to touch it up, or I could, but yeah.
We recorded literally all of them except for one on hardware.
That's not true. 2, I think, was the first one we did on emulator.
No, I want to say we were... I'm not sure. I want to say...
I want to say 2 just because I remember nothing else before 2 except for how crystal clear it was when we were using emulator. But besides that fact, yeah, it's like a godsend. We're actually viewing this on a PSP. Or, sorry, the exact opposite of that, emulator. Bankai Ichigo. God, you're so fun in this game. Also a little bit buzzed in the older games too.
Bleach Hate the Soul Collection remastered for PS4. Thank you, please.
I was weighing this for a long time, but I think it'll ultimately be irrelevant now. Like, just releasing a video, be like, hey, Merry Christmas, guys. Hey, I have a present for all of you. Here's literally a link to every single Hate the Soul game in one Google Drive file. I thought about doing it, but then I was like, okay, I doubt I'll get in trouble. God, I love that. I was like, I probably won't get in trouble from Sony or anything, because I don't think anyone gives 2 shits about this game anymore.
No. Well, hold on, we don't know, maybe. Thanks to the new PlayStation Plus thing, and they're putting PSP games on the PS5, the Japanese version could come to Japanese PS4 and 5.
Fill me with that hopium, why don't you?
How do you think I feel?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
So, one of the most famous fights in shonen history, we kind of just talked over it, that's really cool. It's not too unusual. Considering lightning fast-paced this is going at right now, yeah.
You tend to lose track when these matches last like 25 seconds. But also, yes, one of the best and most influential fights in modern shonen history.
And it's still very funny seeing this up front, because you always remember that, wow, yeah, Ichigo was so new to his Bankai, it was so powerful. Why Ichigo even commented how his body was buckling underneath the pressure of it.
Yep.
From how fast he was moving. And I'm just like, God, I miss like that rapid like warping flash that he was doing. Will you have that fight?
Yep. Oh, that reminds me. This is something I want to address because some people get touchy about this subject, and it's just true.
Sure, what would it be?
Ichigo versus Byakuya. If Zangetsu did not intervene, Ichigo would have died, and died hard. He was not going to win that fight.
Yeah, especially when Byakuya moved into the second form of Senbon Sakura Kageyoshi.